You can sleep a full 8 hours and wake up feeling like something ran you over in the night. And you can sleep 7.5, 30 minutes less, and wake up clear, light, already halfway into the day. Same bed, same body, less sleep, better morning. Almost everyone has lived this exact contradiction, and almost no one has ever stopped to ask how it's possible. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps, 5 exact moves that let you pull more rest out of fewer hours and step out of bed clear instead of crushed. And let me be straight with you before we take one step further. You cannot trick your body into needing 2 hours of sleep. Anyone selling you that is selling you slow damage dressed up as a life hack. But here is what's true, and almost nobody says it plainly. Most adults are not actually short on hours, they are short on quality. They lie in bed for 8 hours and get maybe 5 hours of real, restorative sleep, chopped into pieces, interrupted at the worst possible moments, none of it landing where it should. Fix the quality, and you can take the same body that felt wrecked on 8 hours and make it feel sharp on 6.5. That is what sleep less and wake up fresh actually means. Not less rest, less waste. You're not cutting sleep, you're cutting the dead weight out of it. So let's start with the first move, because it's the one every other move stands on. Anchor your wake-up time. Not your bedtime, your wake time. The same hour every single day, weekends included. Inside your head there is a tiny cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and it runs your internal clock, your circadian rhythm. That clock decides when your body floods you with the hormones that make you drowsy, and when it releases the ones that snap you awake. It does not crave more sleep. It craves rhythm. It wants to know what time morning is, the way you want to know which way is up. When you wake at 6 on Tuesday and 10 on Sunday, you are giving that clock whiplash. You are dropping your own body into permanent jet lag without ever leaving your city. Scientists who study shift workers see this clearly. The people whose wake times scatter all over the week feel exhausted no matter how many hours they log, because their hours never land in the same place twice. But hold a fixed wake time for 2 weeks, and something quiet happens. Your body starts preparing you to rise before the alarm. The wake-up hormones begin arriving on schedule. The fog thins. And here is the part that matters for everything we're doing. People who anchor their wake time often find they need less total sleep to feel more rested, because the sleep they finally get lands on a track instead of scattering across the night. You don't begin by choosing when to sleep. You begin by choosing when to get up, and then you guard that hour like it pays your rent. Now let's move to the second step, and it sounds almost too small to matter. Cool the body down. Your core temperature is one of the master switches for sleep. To fall into deep sleep, your body has to drop its internal temperature by a degree or 2. It does this on its own every night, automatically. But a warm room, heavy bedding, a hot heavy meal right before bed, these fight that drop. They strand you in shallow sleep, half turning all night, never sinking into the deep stage where the real repair lives. So cool the room, crack a window, pull a limb out from under the covers. A warm shower an hour before bed actually helps, and people get this backward. It's not the warmth that does it, it's what happens after. You step out, your body dumps that heat fast, your core temperature falls sharply, and that drop is a signal your brain reads as time to go down. Get this right, and you front load more deep sleep into your earliest cycles, which means more repair packed into every hour you're asleep. That is the whole secret to needing fewer of them. You are not buying more time in bed, you are getting more value out of the time you already spend there. If you appreciate this teaching so far, please take a moment to like this video. It helps this message reach more people. Now the third move, the one that changes your mornings the very first day you try it. Wake at the end of a cycle. Remember the 90 minutes. When your alarm catches you at the end of a cycle, you are surfacing through light sleep, the easy water near the top, and you step out of it clear. But when it catches you in the middle, deep in a slow wave sleep, your brain is not ready to be a person. The slow brain waves are still running. Blood flow to the thinking part of your brain is still low. That heavy, stupid, what year is it feeling has a name. Scientists call it sleep inertia. a measurable drop in your alertness, your reaction time, your judgment, and it can sit on you for 20 minutes, an hour, sometimes more. Most people feel that and conclude they didn't sleep enough, so tomorrow they sleep longer, wake up mid-cycle again, feel just as wrecked, and never solve it. The fix is to count backward from your fixed wake time in 90-minute blocks. 5 cycles is 7.5 hours. 4 is 6. Add about 15 minutes for the time it takes you to actually fall asleep. And here is what stops people cold the first morning they feel it. 6 hours time to end at the close of a cycle will leave you fresher than 8 hours that dumps you out of deep sleep. Same body, fewer hours, far better morning. Because you stopped being yanked off the bottom and started rising gently to the top. The fourth move is the most powerful free tool you will ever own, and it costs you nothing but a few minutes. Catch the morning light. Within the first half hour of waking, get real light into your eyes. Outside if you can, a bright window if you can't. And no, the light through sunglasses or a dim hallway does not count. Light is the single strongest signal your internal clock reads, stronger than caffeine, stronger than willpower. When morning light hits your eyes, it shuts off the sleep hormone, switches on the wakefulness hormone cortisol, and quietly sets a timer. Because that same exposure is what tells your brain when to release melatonin again. 14, 16 hours later. The light you catch at 7 in the morning is what lets you fall asleep with ease that same night. This is why people who spend all day under dim office light and never see the actual sun feel foggy by afternoon and wired at midnight. Their clock never received the message that morning even happened, so it never knows when to call for night. 15 minutes of morning light does more for your sleep than almost anything you could buy in a store. You are not simply waking yourself up, you are programming the night that hasn't come yet. And the fifth move is the one nearly everyone has exactly backward. Delay your first coffee. When you wake, your body fires off a natural surge of cortisol, all on its own. That lift in the first hour after rising is your built-in alarm clock, and it works whether you drink anything or not. Pour caffeine on top of that surge the second your feet touch the floor, and you blunt your own signal. Worse, you teach your body to stop producing the lift, so that within weeks you need the cup, just to reach the level you would have hit naturally. And caffeine does not leave quickly. It lingers for many hours, so the cup you drink at 4 in the afternoon is still circulating at midnight, quietly robbing the deep sleep you just worked so hard to protect. So here is the order. Water first, because you wake up dehydrated, and a good share of morning grogginess is simply thirst that people misread as exhaustion. Let your own cortisol do its work for the first hour or hour and a half. Then have the coffee, while it can actually help instead of fighting your own chemistry, and stop drinking it by early afternoon. Same cup. Cleaner morning, deeper night. You didn't give up anything, you just moved it. Again, here are the 5 steps. You hold a steady wake time, so your clock stays honest. You cool the body, so your deep sleep runs deep. You time the cycle, so you exit through light water instead of being dragged off the bottom. You catch the light, so you set tonight while you wake today. You move the coffee, so nothing leaks into the dark. Each move feeds the next. Pull one out, and the others weaken. Put them all in, and they compound. Which is exactly why this works when 100 random hacks failed. They were never hacks. This is you, finally cooperating with a system that has been running inside you since before you drew your first breath. And there is something worth sitting with underneath all of it. Rest was built into us. The body that lowers its own temperature in the dark, the clock that reads the first light of day, the hormone that lifts you at dawn without ever being asked. None of that was your design. The oldest wisdom we have treated the rhythm of light and dark, of labour and rest, as something close to sacred, long before anyone could measure a single brainwave. Science did not invent that rhythm. It spent a few hundred years catching up to it. You were never made to grind yourself flat and call the exhaustion proof that you're working hard. You were made to rest well and to rise. So stop asking how to sleep less. Ask how to waste less of the sleep you already take. Tomorrow morning, fix your wake time and refuse to move it. Reach for the window before you reach for the cup. Cool the room before you lie down, count your cycles before you set the alarm, and then let your body show you what it could always do the moment you finally stop fighting it. If this teaching has helped you, encouraged you, or opened your understanding in any way, please like this video, subscribe and grow with Steve.